this is Tony Speaks, and this is my lovely wife, Kim. We are the founders and co-creators of the lifestyle brand and podcast, Becoming Disciplined. Every week we meet, learn from, and share best practices with highly disciplined men and women from a variety of fields and endeavors.
Follow us on our journey.
Tokoyo Carlton is a global master coach, entrepreneur, success mentor, brand influencer, United States Army veteran, but most importantly, today, Tokoyo Carlton is becoming disciplined. Today on Becoming Disciplined, we interview Coach Tokoyo Carlton. Coach Tokoyo, welcome to Becoming Disciplined. We are so honored to have you.
Hey, man, Tony. Hey, listen, I appreciate you, man, for reaching out. And of course, it's a pleasing pleasure to actually be one of your hosts on your show. So again, thank you, sir, for the invite. And I hope you're having a fantastic day. As I can already tell, you're doing marvelous, man.
Awesome, brother. Now, Coach, before you educate us and share your current status, all superheroes have an origin story. Can you share your origin story with us? Where did you come up at? Or what was your family life like? What was your early childhood development like? Just so we can have some context.
Good stuff, man. Well, listen, I grew up in Fayetteville, North Carolina. That's my early childhood experience. And of course, that was a military background. My dad was retired military, 24 years. But I lived here until I was 18 years old. And of course, the whole time I was in high school, I was always that business-minded person, that person who always dreamed of being, bigger than life, right? Being rich and all that stuff, that famous thing. And so I was that guy who would watch TV shows and, like Dallas and, all those shows back in the day. I'm giving my age a little bit. Right. But again, Dallas and all those shows where I saw these guys, the Ewings and all that, who, again, lived that lifestyle that we all dreamed of, back then. And so that's how I was. So even when I was going to high school, I would dress up in suits. I didn't have a book bag. I had an actual suitcase, not a suitcase, but a briefcase. And so I was that guy. And so I knew I was always going to be a business owner, entrepreneur. But I didn't have the right persons in my life at that time, because in my area, that just wasn't the thing. Everybody was military. And so, again, from there, I ended up going to college here at FTCC, Federal Tech Community College. And then I got shipped off to Austin, Texas, where I got my real lesson in life. I was able to go to a major city with major things happening, meeting people who are well-to-do, meeting athletes and, book writers and entrepreneurs. So I actually had a chance to meet those type of people that I've always dreamed of becoming. So that's when I started, getting that breakthrough to our success, is when I started surrounding myself with the people who were already doing it.
That's good to know. Now, who was your first, speaking on that vein, who was your first business mentor that inspired you to go in this route? Who was that first person that really gave you that backbone, or gave you the knowledge that you needed to put you on the path that you're on?
Good stuff. Well, that mentor is Jorg Battle. It actually came into my life 1992 when I first moved to Austin, Texas. And through that gentleman, he actually was a former standout at University of Texas. Then he went on to play for the Green Bay Packers. So he had seen that money and made money through that, that career playing an NFL professional football player. And of course, when he got out, because he got hurt, so he had an early career, he started a club business. And so again, I was one of his first loyal customers. So I was at the club, doing my thing, because I was still like 20 years old at that time. And so he was a little bit more older and more mature than I was at that time. And so I was able to actually kind of link arms with him. And it wasn't until about 5 years later when he introduced me to the home-based business arena, network marketing. And that was my first beginning to the business world. And of course, he taught me. And of course, we went on to make, several six-figure incomes with that gentleman. And so we had a lot of success because of that gentleman, because of what he taught us early on.
Okay. Now, I'm late to this game. And sometimes when you ask a question, I have to provide the context of what my question, so you know where I'm coming from.
Okay.
I was totally lost person to around age 24. From age 24 to around 2014, I did not really care about money at all. I was really more on a spiritual. I was on a spiritual journey. I was more.
Okay.
I was a minister in the Baptist church, and I was hyper focused on the studying the Bible and spiritual things. But around 2014, I had children of my own, and then also I had a little bit of a revelation that that money is needed. Jesus is free, but ministry is expensive. Amen.
That's right.
So I had that revelation, and I've been carrying a whole lot more and studying money a whole lot more since around 2014. Based on my studies, real estate is one path. Uh, Stocks and bonds, or well, not really bonds, but more
Investing.
stocks. Yeah, stocks is a second path, and then skill acquisition is a third path, where you become the top 10% and become elite at whatever skill. That's another path to wealth acquisition. Tell me where I'm right, tell me where I'm wrong, and tell me your path and how you coach people in order to obtain wealth.
All right. So again, my background has pretty much been network marketing. For those who don't know what that is, it's basically a home-based business where a company someone starts a company with a service or product, and they enlist people like myself to go out and market those services or products. And when we do that, we actually are able to earn income. But it also allow you to build teams, kind of like what you were saying with real estate, right? Every real estate professional who's a broker has a team. Most real estate owners or real estate individuals wouldn't make that much money if it wasn't for the team. So they make a little bit on what they do, but they make a little bit also on what other people do. And so that philosophy to me made a lot of sense. And so what I became good at is actually building teams. So I'm that guy that you would call in and say, hey, Tokoyo, man, I got this company, and I get, inboxes like that all the time. I got this company. I want you to take a look at it. And if it makes sense to you, I like to work with you. And so again, I would get those type of calls all the time. But again, that's what I do is I actually help people to learn how to start their business, grow their business, and more importantly, scale their business. And so again, we do that through network marketing. That's the vehicle that I chose to be with for the last 25 years is network marketing. I'm sorry, 21 years. So again, network marketing to me is the thing where any person, no matter your background, your age, obviously you have to be at least 18 years old or older. But again, it allows anyone to be successful if they have any kind of inkling of being successful. So again, like you were going on that journey back when you were 24 years old, this would have been a vehicle for you to help you get the right mindset. And here's the reason why it works. It works because, again, we have in network marketing, home-based business, is very, very, very heavily pushed that you get on personal development. See, most folks never get on personal development. See, you're in a spiritual personal development, so you got that aspect right out the gate. But most folks aren't on that, especially at 20 years old. They're more out there in the club and hanging out with their buddies, right?
Right.
But people who got into this network marketing industry, we put books on them, we put audios on them, and these are things that help them start thinking differently. And so when you start thinking differently, you start understanding that the possibilities are really possible. And so again, that's why it's important that we actually, have these type of avenues of home-based business that we could put the average Joe, the average Jane in, and allow them to get coached up by learning to think differently, learning to be more positive, learning to understand that every no doesn't mean no, it just means not right now. Understanding that every bad thing that happens in your life is just temporary, right? And so that's why we've been able to be so strong and so positive in other people's lives, because we've been able to teach the things that we've learned over the years through all our mentors and then all the books and audios that we've listened to. And so again, that's why I love what I do. And I don't know if I think I went a little bit off the question, but but okay, good stuff. And so that's what I get excited about is, again, helping people to start their business, because again, we understand the job is for paying the bills. But the entrepreneurship, starting a business, starting some, linear income, right? Residual income. That's the stuff that says, hey, I can retire at 45 as opposed to 85, right? Like, 'cause we know that people are working longer and longer years now because, again, they just don't know any better. And that's the reason people like myself and you, Tony, who are educating people that, hey, listen, you don't have to wait until 70 or 80 to retire or to live your life. Right? Most people don't live their life until they're 70 years old. So again, all the fun you could have had has already been gone because you've been working all your life. So what if we can show you how to, start a business, change your life early on, and of course, have more time, freedom, do the things that you've always wanted to do. And that's why I love what I do.
Awesome, awesome. Now, as you are working with people with network marketing, when you see someone, what disciplines do you know that a person may have where you're like, oh, this is going to work for them? And then also, likewise, what challenges do you see where you're like, I may have to pull the plug on this one. I don't know if this is a good investment of my time. So what disciplines do you see where you like, oh man, I got something here? And then also what red flags do you see where you're like, this might not be a good expenditure of Coach Carlton's time?
Good stuff. So one of the things is there's coachable and there's non-coachable.
Okay.
That coachable person, that's the person who comes in day one and say, what do I need to do? That uncoachable person says the same thing. Hey, what do I need to do? The difference between the coachable and the non-coachable, the coachable says, what do I need to do? You tell them and they go, what? Execute. The person who says, hey, again, the uncoachable person says, hey, what do I need to do? You tell them what to do and they procrastinate. They don't go execute, right? 3 days later, hey, Johnny, have you got your list? Hey, Johnny, have you talked to Sarah? Hey, Johnny, have you talked to Steve? Well, my dog and, my cat, the door's falling off the hinges. I can't let the door fall off the hinges. I had to cut my grass, right? But the person over here who says, you know what, man, my family's dependent on this. We're about to lose our house, our home, right? That person says, you know what do I need to do? And more importantly, once they've done what you asked them to do, their next question is, what do I do now? What do I do next?
Sure.
You see the difference?
Sure.
So that's who you decide to work with. That person who comes in who says, what do I do next? What do I do next? Not the person who says, hey, what do I do? Pause. Right?
Right.
So again, I'm still going to work with the person over here. They just need a little bit more, push, if that makes sense. And so again, I'm going to maybe spend more time with them, less time with them, let's put it that way. So I'm going to give them things. And if they don't do it, hey, listen, Johnny, hey, did you get a chance to do that? Oh, no problem, man. Well, hey, listen, get back with me when you're ready to get going.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
This person over here, oh man, they're calling me, they're texting me, they're emailing me, but by any means necessary, smoke screens, whatever. They're trying to get the information to get to that place that they're trying to go, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And so there's a huge difference. There's a huge disparity on both.
Right.
You can see it right away within the first 5 days. And for some people, within the first hour, you can tell which one's going to want to work, who's going to come in and do what they need to do, and who's not. I've seen it so many times. Like you, and then the worst thing is when you see someone who's got it and they don't realize it. They got the it, but they don't have that. They don't have that confidence in themselves in order to go out and get it done, because no one's told them, hey man, you're great. No one's told them, hey man, you can do it. No one's told them, hey, listen, man, you're incredible. And see, that's one of the things I love about this industry that I'm a part of, is that we do a lot of that. We do a lot of that, man, you're awesome, man. Man, you're going to be incredible, brother. Oh, man, what you did the other day, most people don't do that. See, we could talk them up. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
And so, again, we're able to grow people. So, again, see, so like, just like in your spiritual walk, right? You go to what? You go to church, but you can't just go to church. You got to go to what? The Bible study.
That's right.
You got to go to some men's events, right? There's different levels of growth in that. Does that make sense? And so the pastor didn't stop with saying, hey, go to church on Sunday. Hey, we got Bible study on Wednesday.
Right.
And hey, listen, we're doing a men's, power hour on, men's breakfast on Saturday. So now I can start, having some camaraderie with other people who are already further along in their walk, in their religious walk. Does that make sense? And we do the same thing over here, where we can plug them into people who are, more successful than I, right? Or people who came from where they came from. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I love about our industry. And again, I can equate that to anything. I don't care if you're at a job, even if you're at a job and you're working at, let's say, McDonald's. There's people at McDonald's who will mentor you to management, right? But the problem that we have in this world right now is there's a lot of people, crabs in a bucket, right? They're pulling people down as opposed to pushing people out. Amen. And so again, but anyways, I'm sending it back to you, brother.
Oh, no. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Now, here's a question I have. You sound like a very disciplined person that has a very disciplined process. But what happens when you come to an organization or a person where their product or their value proposition is not really hitting on anything? You see what I'm saying? Because you sound, from what I can tell, because I spend a lot of time in personal development. I spend a lot of time studying and watching different business people. I can tell that you have a very disciplined process. I can tell that you've got like what I tell my daughters, you have like a car wash where, it's like boom, 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 boom. Like I can tell you got it.
Line, right?
But what happens when you approach someone where their value proposition is not that strong, or the product that provides the value proposition is not that strong? What do you do under those circumstances? Because you can, sometimes if you're shining something and then the thing you're shining isn't all that hot, then you can have the greatest system, but then what happens if the value proposition is not that strong?
Good stuff. I've been there several times, actually, and because I've been around for a while, I know what to look for.
Okay.
So, like, I look for ownership. First of all, ownership is leadership, right? So, if you can't lead and you're the owner, or you're backtracking a lot, or you're constantly adding to or taking away, there's some things to start looking at. It's called red flags, right? So again, and then some of the services, I don't mess with any companies that are technology driven. Why? Because technology is always changing. So if I join a company and our product is, let's say it's the back in the day, let's say it's the pager.
Sure.
Do we see pagers anymore other than doctors in hospitals? Like literally, I mean, when the last time you seen a pager? Probably when you went to the hospital, nurse or doctor had it on their hip or whatever, right?
Right.
So right now, if I were to join a company and that company was selling pages, obviously, you know what? This is not the right time for that. That time has came and gone, right? But someone's trying to put an opportunity on it. And that's what I see a lot of, and especially in my industry. I see a lot of people putting an opportunity on just a product or service. And it doesn't even matter product or service, because, hey, is this money over here? If you sell this product or service, you're going to make this money. So a lot of people get caught up in, the compensation plan. Oh, it's credible, but there's no substance. And I think that's where you were going, right? There's no substance in the service. There's no substance in the product, right? It's a Me Too service. Like anybody can get this. So so I look at this. If I'm going to join a company, I'm looking for companies who are what we call legacy companies. Legacy companies are companies that are here, like let's say a Walmart. Walmart's a legacy company. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Been around forever, right?
Absolutely.
And you don't see Walmart going out of business no time soon, do you?
No, never.
Right. So that would be a solid company to invest in. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Right. So over time, it's already proven that it works. Over time, it's been proven that, hey, they have good service, they have good products, it's very affordable for the masses, all that stuff, right? And no matter what's happened over the last, let's say, 20 years, they've been able to what? Adapt. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of companies who are stuck in their ways. And so they don't understand that, hey, listen, the page is not it anymore. You need to get this deal right here. These things right here to do it. Right?
Right.
So I look for companies, again, that I can see, 20 years from now. Because again, if I'm going to put my time into it, because I'm about residual income. That's what's most important to me. The right now money, great. If it's a lot of upfront money, I love that. But if I can't see that I'm going to, work this thing really, really hard, and for the next 10, 20 years, I can still be eating off of that, I'm not going to participate in that opportunity, because I don't see it long term.
Sure.
Does that make sense? So Absolutely. That's when I know, hey, it's time to be out. And I'm not going to keep putting people in that vehicle if I don't see it working. And you have to be strong enough to pull people out, because some people can get sold out on the comp plan. They don't talk about the product or service a lot because there's no substance there. Does that make sense? So anytime you join a company or opportunity, if it's all about the money, that's all they talk about, money, but never like, how good is the service? Like, what's the testimonies like? What are people saying? What's the product? Are we selling a lot of product, or are we just doing a lot of compensation? Right? Or we just getting people in, getting bodies in, but no products being moved. Does that make sense?
Good. Oh, that makes sense.
Those are the things that we look for in my industry. So I can't speak for everything else, but in my industry, I'm looking for a company that's long term. right? I want to be able to attach my name to something I can see that I could pass on to my kids. Because most of these companies say they have a willable business, and a willable business means that I can leave it to my kids.
Right.
So again, if I don't see it long term to where, again, my son, who is now 14, can't have that same opportunity 10 years from now when he's 24, you see what I'm saying?
Sure.
That's not an opportunity.
Sure.
That's a right now thing. Okay, it's got like a 2 to 5 year lifespan, and then I'm off to look for something else. I don't want to constantly be starting something else in my arena. Does that make sense?
Good to know. Now, you mentioned your move to Austin is critical for your development. What do you say to people who are in small towns like Fayetteville, North Carolina, Roanoke, and other places where they may not have the network? Do you think that a move is essential for them, or in the modern internet age, can you grow where you're planted and that move is not necessary? What is your thoughts?
On that situation, man, listen, I think it's more, for me personally, if you're young and you don't have kids and you're in a small market, I say see the world.
That's good.
See what's out there. Because I'm so glad that my mother sent me to Austin, Texas. Because that's how I got sent there. It was during Desert Storm, actually. And here in Fayetteville, because our economy is based on what?
The military.
The military.
That's right.
So back in 92 or whatever it was, 91, 92, whatever it was, Desert Storm, when that all happened, businesses were going out of business. People were letting people off. And so it was just a bad time here economy-wise. And so again, had I stayed here, I think the person that I am, because I always wanted to be an entrepreneur or something, I probably would have found a way, but it would have took longer. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But when I got to an area in a city, because in the city, it's moving.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is in your time zone. At least on my time, it's after church, and I don't know about you, sometimes after church I'm just lacking energy. Courtney.
Yes.
Can you get me a one of them vitamins that your mama takes?
Here you go, Daddy.
Let me try one of these. Tastes pretty good.
My God, Kim! What do you have in there? It's made with vitamins B9 and B12. It's great for my overall health. It's made with pectin, a unique fiber in fruit peels. It's simple and delicious. Kim, did you know that more people search apple cider vinegar in the U.S. than tea? Google has 15,000 people searching that word every day in the U.S. alone.
Kim, how can more people get this gummy?
If you want to support the podcast, or if you're looking to improve your health, you can order these gummies at https://go.goalie.com/becoming disciplined. Don't forget to use our promo code Becoming Disciplined.
Right.
People are moving. Like it's activity. It's like I tell people, it's life. And here, I feel like everybody's like this, just coasting along.
Right.
Go to work, go home. Go to work, go home. Go to work, go home.
That's right.
There, everybody may be going to work, go home, but they're also looking for other avenues. They have businesses on the side. They're doing real estate. They're investing. They have their own little mom and pop locations. And so you're able to see that type of thing. So again, what I suggest that someone do if they're in their let's say 18, 19, 20, early 20s, they're single, no kids, man, go somewhere else. Go see what it's like. And if that's not your cup of tea, hey, you can always go back home. Home is always waiting. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But I would say go somewhere. But now if you're a family man and you got kids, and again, that's another thing too, because we know that there's people right now who live here in Fayetteville but work out of Raleigh, Durham. Why? There's more opportunity.
That's right.
Right. They live here for the prices, right? Housing prices, but they go there for the money because there's opportunity there. Absolutely. And they're willing to travel an hour, 2 hours a day back and forth just to have that opportunity.
Absolutely.
You see? So that kind of helps you out, just understanding the philosophy of why would I move, or why would I say? Because I never thought I would be back in Fayetteville. Just being honest with you, I came here before for medical reasons. For military sent me this way, pretty much from Texas, and so. But I never thought I would be here, man. And since I've been here, I mean, you know, coming from a place like that for over 20 years, 25 years, to come back here, it's like, you know, it's that you can tell the difference. And I know that some people who have prospered in the city, they look forward to coming to places like this to relax, to retire,
right?
Not to go get it, to retire,
right? Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? There's a difference. They leave to go get it. Come here to retire.
Yes. And from my experience, sometimes small towns, the business infrastructure that's in place can be very good old boyish, where it's it can be very crabs in the barrel type mentality, where when you're the new guy coming in from a bigger city, instead of them welcoming and saying, hey, let's learn from you, let's build with you, it's more of a it can sometimes be a very it can sometimes be a very isolating experience. Now, besides moving, what other advice? We like to time travel on this podcast. What advice would you give your 15-year-old self if you could only time travel and just whisper in young Mr. Carlton's ear, and you could tell him, hey, do this, and it was only you could, and this device that we've created, you can only whisper 2 sentences or so. What advice would you give your 15-year-old self?
Stay the course.
Stay the course.
Amen. That's it.
Amen.
That's it.
Amen.
Because everything that's for you is for you.
That's right.
You can't wish it to change. It's for you. I love the journey that I went on.
Amen.
You follow me? Like, I wouldn't change it.
That's right.
I mean, seriously, I stay the course, because some of us right now are going through some things, and we don't understand that we're right there. Because usually when things are as worse, that's when your breakthrough is right around the corner. You know that.
Amen. Amen.
So we know it's right there, but sometimes we let our own doubt, our own insecurities, right? We don't trust ourselves, right? To do the right thing, to make the right choices, to get through the harsh times. See, those things are necessary for us to grow. See, you can't grow in life if you haven't been. It's hard to grow in life if you haven't been through something, or to accomplish something major if you haven't been through anything major. It's hard. Like you like the first time you have something challenge you, you're gonna fold. But if you've been challenged throughout life, you know that, hey, listen, that happened, but you know what? It's not as bad as that one thing that I went through. Right? Oh, I can get through this. This is nothing. I can get through this.
That's right.
This is just a step in the journey.
That's right.
Right. And then, of course, I can't teach someone else as a coach. We coaches, right? I can't teach someone else if I haven't been through it. That's the reason why they say the best pastors are the ones who've been through the most stuff.
That's
because
right.
They can speak on it.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Amen, brother. Amen. Amen. Now, I'm just so that our audience can have, do you deal with basically companies, or would you be willing to, like, for instance, let me give you an example. There's a young man who I'm helping right now where I'm very proud of him, because for an entire year, it's the first time that he's worked a solid job for an entire year. And he's around our age. He's a little bit younger than us, but he's worked a job for an entire year. And to be honest with you, I'm not big about trying to give somebody a job, because I would love to move people into entrepreneurship. However, for him, I was proud of him because of, he does, before you can become an entrepreneur, you need some discipline and some structure. You see what I'm saying? You need to be able to. Yeah, exactly. What's that? Say again?
Stability.
That's right. You need that stability of mind and everything else. But he's also already, for 20 years, he's done street hustling, where he's hustled stuff on the streets. Okay. Right. So your services, have you ever helped someone like that, or do you primarily help businesses, or because there's an example, he's very good at detailing vehicles or detailing cars, and I'm trying to get him out of the frame of mind, instead of you being the one to do the detailing, for you to find 20 young men like yourself and you have them doing the detailing to your standards, because that's how you build wealth. Instead of you doing all of the physical labor, you building that network. Do you work with people like that, or do you work with just basically companies at this stage of your career?
Nah, both.
Okay, so you'll work with someone like that. Okay, all right, that's good.
Individuals or business. And someone like him, I would tell him this. I mean, really, we could just go say, hey, listen, J. Paul Getty, you know who J. Paul Getty is, right? First recorded billionaire in the world, in the United States, in the world, basically. Well, in the United States. He said, I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's effort than 1% of my own, right? Which he understood is, hey, listen, I can only get paid, I only have 24 hours a day. I can only get paid on what I do once. But if I had 20 people, as you said in that demonstration of having 20 people helping you clean cars, I can get paid on 20 people's efforts, right? Instead of making just that one, let's say $5. Well, let's say you made $100 a day on your own efforts if it was just you. But now let's say you're making $10 on 20 people. Now you're at 200. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's what I do too as well. I mean, like, I want people to have a job, because everybody's not meant to have a business right out the gate. Because everybody's finances isn't in order, because you can't go full-time being a business owner if you don't have your money right. That's why I said stability. You gotta have your mind right and you gotta have your money right.
That's right.
That's why I always say work full-time on your job, part-time on your fortune.
Amen.
Right? Jim Rohn, right? That's right. One of my best. You said books, right? So that's my guy, Jim Rohn.
Amen.
So work full-time on your job, part-time on your fortune. So that's what I do mainly, is I show people how to work part-time, full-time on their job, right? So the bills maintain themselves while working part-time on the thing that's going to free you from the full-time. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And so again, I can do that with a business person, someone who owns a company. I do that with a person who's an individual who never even had a business or had a business in the past and hadn't had success. And so again, it's about really just getting together with people, setting up a structure of, again, what's necessary in order to be successful. Also listening to what that person has going on in their life. And then, like, if his background and he's really good at cleaning cars, then we're going to show him how to, hey, listen, we're going to turn that into a business. Because as me, I'm like you, brother. I understand that jobs are necessary, but I'm all about turning it to a business at some point. You got to be in ownership at some point.
Absolutely.
You follow me? So, yeah, I would have that guy have his own business within the next 6 months.
Absolutely.
Hey, stack your money up. What's necessary. Boom, let's go do the research. How much does it cost to get the material? How much would it cost to get you a location? Do you know somebody who would?
Oh, we lost your image.
There. Yeah, that's my fault, man. People. So again, hey, education. Boom. How much would it cost for the material? How much would it cost for just a location? Or maybe is there let's say a grocery store or convenience store that'll let you have the property and rent it for them. Or maybe they say, hey, listen, when you can have this for X amount of time, I give you 30 days to ramp it up. If you drive business and people start buying in the store, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So there's all kind of ways to make that work, but that's what I would try to have him do. He would get his own self set up as far as being his own detailing business. Okay. Or if he wants to be a mobile detailer, I mean, whatever have you. So, but again, those are some of the things I would do for him, just to kind of, hey, listen, what you like doing is something you should invest in.
Absolutely. And the reason why I asked that question is we're going to put all your information at the end of this podcast. And we just wanted to kind of clarify who can reach out to you and who should, just so, we don't want anyone wasting your time. So that way it kind of helps filter things out. Now, as a high performer, how well do you sleep? We ask this of all our high performers. How well do you sleep? Are you a sound sleeper, or are you one of those 4-hour a night type of individuals?
I've been 3 to 4 hours, man, for as long as I can remember. It's hard for me to sleep, man, because I always feel like I'm wasting time. It's weird. It's like like sleeping makes me feel like I'm wasting time. Especially with the internet and technology. I mean, you can work around the clock now, because again, you can reach out to those people you normally couldn't reach out to, right? In other parts of the world, right? We have international business, right?
Sure.
So yeah, I'm trying to get better at it, because again, I had a health issue and I know that I need to start taking care of myself a little bit more. So I'm trying to get better at it, but it's still a process for me to be. So I'm forcing myself to put more sleep in, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Because like I said, one thing is you can go make all the money you want, man, but you can't buy back life. You can't buy back your health. And so I've already had one. I just had a heart transplant back in May 31st of this year.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and I'm 49. I'll be 50 on Wednesday actually.
Wow.
And so, you know, and it wasn't because I've been healthy all my life. You know, just out of nowhere. You know, so I'm having to reevaluate how I eat now. You know, because I just usually I like to eat out. That's me. I eat out every time, pretty much every day.
Right.
So just changing those habits of what we're eating, what we're intaking. And so sleep is very important. That's one of the things I've learned. Not sleeping right will mess your junk up.
Wow.
And so I'm trying to get better. Obviously, on the second part of my life because I'm literally on the second life right now.
Amen.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get better at it. So now here's what I say that, but I say this too again. If you're young in your 20s and 30s, go for it.
Right.
Go for it. Go get it.
Right.
Right. You're young, you know, for a short span of time. Right. Go get it. But at some point, you've got to be able to taper it off to where you can start getting that quality sleep. So again, for me, I'm still struggling with it. I'm probably still doing about 4 hours a night, even though I set my alarm on my phone right now. I have it to notify me at 12:30 that 1 o'clock is my sleep time, right? 1 a.m. in the morning. Because I can't, for whatever, my mind doesn't let me go to sleep early. Because like I try to do like other people and go to sleep like at 10 or 11. I can't do it. It's hard. It's challenging. So I have this little notification that tells me, hey, it's almost time for your bed. So it's 1 o'clock. And then I have it set for 7 o'clock a.m. So it's 6 hours that I have set for me to actually sleep. But obviously I'm not, you know, I'm laying there and I'm trying to go to sleep. So it's just something I'm still working on. But I think most business people that I know of who are high performers and make money, that's a struggle. It's a struggle, especially if you're still getting after it. I'm still getting after it. Now, if you got yourself together and you're on a whole, you know, you got your funds is right, you got millions in the bank and all that stuff, it's a different type of relaxation then because now you're not out, you know, so much gangbusters.
True.
Now it's more like you have so many people who have, you know, you've built that network up, right? Now your business is working not because of you, but in spite of you. And so at that point, now you can start relaxing, chilling, going on more vacations, and not always being that work mindset.
That's right.
Right? Because when you're trying to get it, your mind's always, it's a motor. It's always trying to figure out, like, what's next? Who do we got to call? Like, tomorrow, I can't wait till tomorrow, you know, for the next follow-up. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
right.
it's a little challenging, but it's necessary. You need to get more sleep.
You know, and for our viewers, I'll just share this is one of the things that stopped me from wealth acquisition is I always would ask myself, how much is too much? And then someone trained me on, or they taught me about this thing that you're probably familiar with called the 4% rule, where you take your annual salary, or you take the salary that you feel that you need to be comfortable for the rest of your life. And that annual salary. And then you realize that needs to be 4% of your overall of how much your entire wealth acquisition that you need. And then if you realize that once you acquire that larger percentage of wealth acquisition, then you can then live off of the interest. And then the interest will supply you that annual income or that annual salary that you need for the rest of your life. So then that way it helps you develop a goal of how much is too much. So for me, it's anywhere between 2.5 and 3.5 million dollars. Once I have that acquired, I plan, you know, I'll tell this to the audience, I plan on becoming what I call a 90% tither. Any money after that, I plan to give 90% of everything to charities. Because for me, I only need around, this is gonna say, I hope no one's offended by me saying this, I only need around $140,000 or $140,000 a year for me, you know, for me and my family to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So 2.5 with anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 million dollars, that's enough in order for me. I don't need a whole lot after that. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. And I always believe nothing wrong with making money, but you know, at some point, you know, within my faith, I believe in investing in others and investing in the community and investing in spiritual organizations, investing in things to keep that money flowing. Because when that money flows, it helps our economy. It helps people. It helps dreams and things come true. So that's just something that helped me, because some people ask themselves, how much is too much? And for me, when I discovered that 4% rule, it kind of helped me realize, oh, okay, here's a good jumping off point. Just a thought that I'm sharing for our audience.
Yeah.
I know this is your interview, though, brother. I apologize for that.
No. That goes both ways, man. That's the best ones, man. So I kind of agree with that a little bit, man, because, everybody's, and I guess it depends on how much you want, because I want to serve a lot of people.
Sure. And
for like me, 2.3 or whatever, 3.5, that wouldn't be enough, because you can buy a house, $500,000 house, and that's gone.
Amen, brother.
You know what I'm saying? Then there's upkeep on that. Then you got your cars. You got your kids need cars. Then you got colleges. So you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But then you still haven't even put in how much for what you need to help and support your brothers and sisters right around. Not, I don't know if local or international or whatever. So to me, like, cause you gotta ask yourself, when is enough is enough? Like Oprah Winfrey's still working. Michael Dell's still working. Amazon's still working, right? All these guys, why? I mean, they're hundreds of billions of dollars. Why are they still on the scene? Why are they still showing up at the office?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, dude, if I had $100 billion, why would I show up at the office? Right. Because there's much bigger things in play. They're trying to be like globe changers.
Amen.
Right? Now, I don't think I see myself doing like that type of thing, but I do know I need to make a lot more money. I know I need to have, $100+ million, right? Because now I can start putting up my own neighborhoods. I can start funding my own neighborhoods, so I can put people in houses.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
And see, I'm not one of those guys that likes to, who wants to go into other countries and all that. I'm taking care of my home first. Like it always befuddles me when I see so many people like send all this money over to this country and that country when we got people right now still on the streets here.
Amen.
Like I never understood that, man.
That's right.
The wealthiest country in the world, man. And we send our money to other countries doing this stuff, and we got people right here that mothers who need help, single mothers.
That's right.
Homeless people out here, people mentally, mental situations.
I'm in 100% agreement with you, brother. 100% agreement with that.
Yeah. So my thing is, the number has to be so high because my goals, my dreams are so high. The people I want to serve is so many. You follow me?
That's right.
Because and see, that's why, because there's people right now who are making, let's say, 6 figures a year, right? Let's say $100,000, and they're content. But see, to me, that's not a servant's heart. That's about you.
Amen.
Right. So whatever I do, I want to position myself to be in a position where I can serve people and help people. And in order to help people, it takes money. Sure. And people say, well, no, you can help for free. No, doc, no, you can go and pretend to help somebody, but it's going to take some money. Right? Because if the homeless person needs to eat and you don't have any money to feed them because you can't feed yourself, how are you serving?
That's right. I hear you, brother. Amen. And the 4%, just for clarification, when I talk about the 4% rule, I'm talking about my personal finances.
Yeah.
So anything past that for me is going to go to not-for-profits and to do what you're saying. Hey, and of course, hey, if the Lord blesses past 2.5 or $3.5 million, I'm good. Amen. I'm good.
Yeah,
I know who to give
it
it to.
But you know what? It's crazy thing about it. If you get to 2.5, you can't help but get to 5.
That's right.
That's right. Because it doesn't stop because you made that. Whatever you're doing to get that is going to continue.
And the brother from the Shark Tank actually said the same thing. I forgot the bald brother from the Shark Tank. I forgot his name. The one, Kevin
Harrington.
Yeah. The guy.
I'm working with him right now.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, he said that he basically was like, "Hey, the first million." Kevin.
But I'm working with Kevin Harrington, who's the original Shark Tank.
Okay. Well, there's the bald gentleman that's known as the mean guy, the one that they consider the mean guy.
I know you're talking about.
He basically said getting your first million is the hardest, but once you get that first million, the rest is exponential. It basically
because you know how to get it, what it takes.
Absolutely. Now, what book out you spoke about the man who started it all for all of us, Mr. Rome. What book outside of the Bible has shaped your life in the greatest capacity?
I don't know for word for. I think it was growing a network marketing business. It was the first book that I actually was first exposed to. I think it's growing a network marketing business, something like that. But it was the first book I was given back in 2000 when I first got into the industry. And then I went to audio because I love his voice. Like I can listen to, and I did. I listened to it so much to where I started talking like Jim Rohn. And that's a clue, hint, hint. If you're gonna be mentored by somebody, guys, you've gotta basically envelop that person, if that makes sense. Because they got what you want.
That's right.
There's something about them that attracted you to them, right? Right. So again, I think you should take on some parts of that person. You follow me? Like I had Jim Rohn was the book, the author of the book that I like, the network marketing book, and I love this voice. So I would listen to it over and over and over and over. So when people would say things, I would be able to come back with stuff that Jim Rohn would say. Like, right? Like, I buy 2 bikes, 1 bike to ride and 1 bike to win. Right. Stuff like that.
I can hear him. I can hear him in you, brother. I can hear him in you. I listen to him at least once a week.
And so like I would get that, and then I had another mentor through my first company I was a part of, which is Donnell Self, who came through and changed everything for me too as well. It helped me to have the voice that I have now because I didn't speak like this before. Even my hand gestures, like just stuff like this, I got from watching him tapes after tapes and live events after live events. Right. Watching his gestures, how he took on a room, right? So it's not just the books and audios too, but it's also that those people in person that you have access to, where again, it allowed me to be able to get in front of rooms and get on a stage and just have people just engulfed in me talking, right? And you can just see their minds thinking, and they're getting it, and you see the ahas popping up above people's heads as you speak. Awesome. And so yeah, man,
that's good.
Jim Rohn was the guy. And then, like I said, taking on some personal people that I knew personally that were in my area, in my arena, in the same business arena that I was a part of.
Amen. Well, just for you and the audience to know where I'm headed, there's 2 gentlemen that I look at as mentors, John Maxwell and Eric Thomas. And those 2, if you want to know where I'm trying to go, those are the 2 that I blend. I want to be a little more structured than Eric Thomas. I want to be a little more I'm a little more street than John Maxwell. Yeah. So if you take those 2 and combine them, that's what I hope to. My wife corrected me. It's Kevin O'Leary was the person I was talking about on the Shark.
That's that guy. Yeah, I'm actually working with Kevin Harrington, who was one of the original Shark Tanks when the show first came out, and he's working with a company that I'm at right now, mentoring us and stuff like that. So. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Now, at Becoming Disciplined, we examine discipline or organization in the following areas. And Coach Carlton, don't worry, I always have to repeat myself at least twice because I'm going to give you a litany of different areas that we examine. We look at discipline in spirituality, mental discipline, physical discipline, emotional intelligence, financial discipline, time management, home and data organization. Now, I'm going to repeat all of these, but as I repeat them, if you could think about what's your strong point, and then the area that you feel needs some development, and then as well, if there is an area that you believe needs some development, what's your plan in 2022 to address that area? Okay, so I'm going to repeat it again. At Becoming Disciplined, we examine discipline or organization in the following areas: spirituality, mental discipline, physical discipline, emotional intelligence, financial discipline, time management, and home and data organization. What's your strong point? What's your area that could use some work? And if there's an area that could use some work in 2022, what's the plan?
Yeah, for me, and I'm just going to be honest, let's just talk about something I need help with right away. It's time management. It's not that I don't have the time. Sometimes I procrastinate on the time that I have available. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have your times when you're focused, you're locked in. But then there's that times or certain parts of the year or months, a month where it's like, what? Like, man, I'm out of it, man. Like, I don't feel like doing crap right now. I just want to sit down and watch a movie, and chill. I don't want no phone calls. I don't want nothing. But if you're trying to get things done, you have goals. You got to have that plan and those plans in place. You got to be working and operating by a calendar. So in order to get better with that, I've actually took on another workout partner actually last week. Young lady named Melissa Lambert. We became workout partners because that's something I needed help in because I was doing a lot of this stuff on my own. And so that's the one thing I learned too as well. You can't do this stuff on your own. It's like my mentor always would tell me, George Battle would always say, the Lone Ranger, had it not been for Tonto, he would have died probably the first show. Right? Mm-hmm. It wasn't the Lone Ranger show, it was a Tonto show. Because remember, Tonto was always there to save the day. Why? Right. Because he was always saving Lone Ranger from being tied up.
That's right. That's right.
Do you remember that? Like,
that's right.
Lone Ranger got all the praise and the hoopla and all this old stuff. But it was Tonto always coming and saving him so that he can save the day. Right?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So you always got to have that workout partner. And that's the reason why I enlisted Melissa Lambert last week to help me out, just to stay focused. That's right. So that's one of the areas that I'm working on right now is really, utilizing my time and then also, utilizing my 5 daily power list. We call it a power list. And it's 5 critical things or tasks that you need to accomplish that day. So again, 5 things that you need to accomplish that day and stay on task. In order to get those 5 things, right? When you complete those 5 things, that's a win. If you complete only 3 or 4 of those things, that's not a win. That's a loss for the day. You see what I'm saying? So so we're not going to reward ourselves with going out and getting the 3 things done. So, you did good. No, the key is these are 5 things that you need to get done that day. Right? That'll help out so many people. They understood a power list. So again, it's the night before you sit down and you map out what you want to get done the next day. So there's 5 critical things that need to be done that day. So for you, it's like, hey, I've got this interview with, Tokoyo Carlton. So again, I'm gonna, make sure that, the Zoom is set up, boom, he's got the right links, right. That's something critical that needs to happen. And I need to make sure this, and this, later on today, I got 5 follow-ups or, I got whatever it is. So those 5 things, you want to make sure you get them done. And these are critical things in order for you to be successful that day, in order to mark on that calendar that day, win. Right.
Good.
So time, that's one of the things I'm working on to get better at because again, I have a lot of it. I just don't use it as well as I should. So I want to get better at that. So I enlisted help. So again, key phrase, I enlisted help. That's
good. That's right. Good. Now I'm about to ask you the strangest question that you're going to ever receive. And I may edit this out, if this goes down a dead end, but sometimes you got to go for the gold. Amen. Sometimes you got to go and ask a strange question. I was just listening to a podcast, and in the podcast, they talked about people who had organ transplants. Mm-hmm. And the organ transplants actually gave birth to the person having memories that they never had, or they had certain appetites that they never had before, or, that they noticed things that were strange or different. For someone who had a major heart transplant, have you experienced any of that at all? Or was it, have you experienced any oddities like that where you're having any kind of, like where you feel like, oh, wow, this is a little different. I didn't expect this.
No, I haven't. I was thinking that same course when, after I woke up from the surgery, because I didn't wake up for, I think it was 4 days.
Wow.
After the surgery. But it was just the medicine. And it was so crazy. They say it's the medicine, but I know I woke up and I couldn't, every time I would close my eyes, like I didn't see, if I had my eyes open, I was fine. But when I closed my eyes, every time I closed my eyes, even if I was sleeping, I would see this crazy, and I don't even know why because I don't even think like that. Wow. I would see like, it was this gang of people who were like bad, and they were robbing and beating up people on the street. And they were, coming to me, like, let me know they were coming to where I was at in the hospital.
Wow.
Like, I'm like, whoa, and it was tripping me out because I was telling the nurse, and I was like, look, there's some people coming. Like, I was like, for real. Because like every time I would close my eyes, it would just start back up, and they were getting closer and closer.
Wow.
Like traveling, doing just crazy stuff along the way. And I was just sitting there like, dude, I can't. Every time I close, I don't want to close my eyes. Like I could literally blink like this and it would start up. Just that quick.
Wow.
And I was like, dude, and I don't have no thoughts like that, bro. I don't even roll like that. Right. And I was like, so that was the only experience I had, but and I think it was medicine that it had me on. I don't know, but it went away like after a couple. I think it was 2 days. I stopped seeing it because it was messing me up, bro. Like I really believed that those people was coming, and it was like because at some point they had got to the actual hospital. Wow. And they were trying to get in. And I was like, what, dude, these people trying to get up in here. But yeah, that was the only thing. Other than that, man, just still trying to get my taste back. Like stuff I liked before, you mentioned. Sure. Stuff I liked before, it doesn't, because I'm a sweet, I love dessert. Sure. Like I can eat cakes for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? Sure. And everybody knows that's my thing. And it's like the same stuff doesn't have the same taste. Like even some of the same foods that I would love to go get. Like I'm big on like Asian food and stuff like that. It's certain flavors now I can't. It doesn't taste right.
Well, maybe that's because the brother with the previous heart didn't have that taste bud, man.
I know that's what I know. He's like, no, hey, like, hey, man, we can go over here to such and such, man. You're going to the wrong restaurant.
Now, did they do that at Womack? Did they do that at Womack? Did they do that?
No, this is a heart transplant. So I got it done through the VA. The VA they have 5 locations that do transplants around the nation. And one of them was in Virginia. So I had it done in Richmond, Virginia at the VA hospital there. And they're the only ones that actually do it at their hospital out of all the VA hospitals. So there's only 5. All the other 4, they actually third party it out. So they would give it to like the local, let's say like in Virginia, they had VCU.
Wow.
Right. Wow. So they would give it to them and let them do the actual procedure. But the Richmond, Virginia would actually, the VA would do all the prelim stuff. But the VA that I was at did everything from start to finish.
Was that a long
wait? They're the only VA in the whole country that does that. And that was something that really was like, really wow. And the reason why I had to come here is because they didn't have one in Texas, which is crazy. As big as Texas is, they didn't have a heart transplant VA hospital in Texas. Wow. And that was weird to me. So like they have one in California, one in Utah, Tennessee, Chicago, and then Virginia. You follow me? So I chose Virginia because it was closer to family, obviously, with North Carolina, my parents being here in Fayetteville. It was close enough so I could have support, and then I have family in Maryland, D.C., so I had support if I needed it.
That's good. That's good. How long did you have to wait?
I got on the list in 2018, and I got my heart May 31st this year.
Oh, that's a blessing, man. That is amazing, man. We're so happy for you, brother. Coach Carlton, how can we promote and support your programs? How can people reach you? What's the best avenue for people to get a hold of you, whether it's a young entrepreneur starting out as an individual or whether it's a young company that could use your services so that they can properly network and manage and get their information out there? What's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Too easy, man. You can find me anywhere, Tokoyo Carlton, but at Tokoyo Carlton. But you can go to, I would say the one that I'm on the most would be Facebook. That's the social platform that I use the most. So you can find me on Facebook, Facebook.com/Tokoyo Carlton. Or you can find me on Instagram, Tokoyo Carlton. You can find me on Twitter, Tokoyo Carlton. You can find me on YouTube, Tokoyo. No, they don't have me on. They wouldn't let me do it on that. So I was able to get Tokoyo 49 on YouTube. So basically, any social platform, you can find me just by name, or you can just simply Google me.
Awesome. Now, Coach Carlton, we can't thank you enough for coming on. You didn't have to do this. You didn't need to do this. We truly appreciate it. You have the last word. Do you have any closing thoughts for our audience? And everyone should always be aware of their audience before they speak to them. Our audience is typically 30 to 55-year-olds, people who I lovingly call the Get Better Club, where they are trying to become a better version of themselves. So, Coach Carlton, what are your closing thoughts for the Get Better Club?
Right. So if your platform is pretty much, that middle age platform of individuals, I would say never give up, guys, because so many people right now have pretty much assigned to themselves that what they're doing is it. That's what's left for them. And they'll stay there until they retire.
Sure.
And there's nothing better for them, because this is where I've the limit that they set for themselves. And so what I want to tell you is this right here, is that you can have, be, and do whatever you want to do. There is no time limit on success. There is no time limit on having a better life. So again, I don't care if you're 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old, you can start today and change it. It's just a snap, guys, and turn it up. They said it's 1 degree between hot water and steam. You just got to turn it up a little bit. And so again, the whole thing I would tell you right now is don't give up. If you've had some dreams, something you wanted to do, as a young person, or even now, you came up with a good idea, or you came up with a project that would help mankind, or something. Your food is good. Someone told you can cook well. Someone told you, girl, you're good at doing hair. Someone told you, hey, look, man, you're good at doing cars. You're one of the best detailing people I've ever seen. Guys, listen to what people are telling you. If they're telling you good things and they're congratulating you on things that you do naturally very well, guys, that's called a clue, hint, clue, right? Mm. Start taking advantage of those clues and benefits, right, of people telling you, of what people are telling you, and start running after those things, right? So if you're a good cook, start finding out what it would take to get your own restaurant. If you're a good detailer, find out what it would take to start your own detailing business, right? If you're a good beautician, find out what it takes to become, a beautician, to get your own, shop up and going. So again, don't reserve yourself to say, hey, listen, I've reached my max. So this is where I'm going to be at. I'm stuck at Dell Computers for the rest of my life. I'm stuck at this situation for the rest of my life. Guys, you can change your situation. I don't care how bad or how bleak it's been. You can change your situation overnight. And I mean that. It's all about thoughts. Thoughts become things, guys. So again, if you believe it, guys, you can achieve it. Don't sit there and think that you can't just because someone told you you can't. Don't think that you can't because you've told yourself you can't. Pick yourself up, guys. Go with it, run with it, find out what it takes to become successful. And if you don't know how to do that or go about that, reach out to people like Tony. Reach out to people like myself. Reach out to a mentor that you know in your area, right? Reach out to someone who knows better or been more successful than you and ask them, what did it take? Ask them, can you be mentored by them? Or ask them, can you take them to lunch? You know what people who are successful love? They love it. They love to share their information. They love to tell you how they've done it. And guess what? Don't let them pay for lunch. You pay for it, because most people aren't, most people are looking for a handout. Most people are looking for them to pay for the check because they're rich or they've made money. Say, listen, hey, John, hey, Tony, I would like to take you out to lunch because I need some help right now. I want to, see what I need to do to go to the next level in my life. I want to be able to help my family out do more. Tony, can I take you out to lunch? See, guys, I'm telling you, life will change. Get around people who are doing better than you are. And it's going to escalate your life even more, right? The 5 people that you hang around the most, guys, are the combination of where your income or where your life is right now based on the people that you hang around and associate the most. So if you're hanging around some broke folks, guess what? You're probably right there with them. If you hang around some people who are paid, you're right there with them, right? So again, find someone to mentor you. Find people that you can be around. Just by association, guys, you can become successful. So with that, it's been a fun, pleasant pleasure. I look forward to seeing you guys at the top, from the top, over the top. Take care, take charge, and we'll talk to you soon.
If you enjoyed Coach Carlton as much as we did, you can reach him at Tokoyo Carlton on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. And please, if you didn't already, don't forget to subscribe.